Alright, greetings viewers. Today I've got something a little bit different to show you guys. I was actually out hanging out with some friends over at an internet cafe, and I happened to have a pretty good Veigar, and somebody happened to upload the LOL recorder replay for this game. And if any of you don't know about the website na.op.gg, it's kind of like a Korean LOL king, and LOL recorder will automatically detect that a game has been recorded on that site and add a link to the download. So I thought I'd do a commentary of one of my own games after I've played it, which is something I've never done before, and just try out new things. I am on my Smurf, I guess to set the stage, as Veigar, of course, because it's Veigar only. And I'm actually duo queuing with the Nami here, so even though my Smurf is a gold 1, he's I think a plat 2, so we're actually paired up with like plat 3s. And I was versing a Zed, and when I looked at this guy's match history for Zed, this is his second ranked game as Zed, and the first one he went 2-8, and he didn't fare particularly well this time around. So I just like to kind of take a moment when choosing your champions that just because something is a counter, or you think something's a really hard counter to a champion that's currently picked, you probably shouldn't pick it unless you know the matchup well, or unless you know the champion well. Like, this guy obviously picked Zed because he thought it would counter Veigar, even though he's never played it before, and he thought Zed would be really OP against him, and then he just didn't know how to play the matchup, or really how to play the champion that well. So, in my opinion, if you don't have, like, if I were to have to verse, let's say I have to verse a LeBlanc, and I don't have any champions that I feel are strong counter to LeBlanc, I would be much better off playing something like Veigar that I know well, or maybe I know Ari or whatever, and playing that against LeBlanc than picking what is considered the highest counter to her, which I have no idea what it is, but we'll say it's Riven or something. Because if I'm a Riven player, if I'm not a Riven player, I'm probably gonna get shit on there. But I don't know. I'm not gonna have the champion knowledge, and I'm not gonna know the matchup well. At least when I'm playing Veigar, I know the matchup well, and I know what I'm doing, or I know how it should go in order for me to win. I know the win conditions. And the same is also so true of the OP champs. Like, yeah, Kassadin is ridiculously OP, and if somebody leaves him unbanned, maybe it's a good idea to pick him up. But if you never play Kassadin, don't just pick him because he's OP, because odds are you'll get countered and you'll probably get destroyed. Now, I picked Veigar, and I don't mind first picking it, even against my counters, because I know my counters well, and I know the matchups well. So if somebody's picking a counter just because it's a counter, I know how to play against that counter, and they don't know how to play against me. So I'm actually at the advantage, even though I seem to be at the disadvantage. Anyways, let's start the game off. Let me tell you about the Zed matchup real quick. Basically, how the Zed matchup works is Zed is a melee champion, so he obviously has to try and CS by getting really close range. So what Veigar wants to do is he actually doesn't want to Q farm this matchup really at all until he gets at least a blue buff. And he wants to use his Q to harass Zed and try and force him out of lane. If I can harass Zed out of lane, then I will win this matchup because Zed will be underfarmed when he gets to level 6, which is when he actually has kill potential. Zed has absolutely no real kill potential on Veigar until level 6, unless you let him get like level 3 when you're still level 2 and he jumps in on top of you, or level 1 when you're still level 2. Basically, as long as you play safe and don't let him melee attack you, he's never going to kill you until level 6. And even at level 6, you need to be at under half HP in order for his ult to kill you. So once you're actually at that point, all you have to do is hold on to your stun until he ults in on you, and then you drop your stun right on top of yourself because his ult makes him land on top of you, and he immediately gets stunned, and he can't use any of his abilities on top of you. So, but before that, you want to Q harass him as much as possible to force him out of lane. Zed does have pretty strong poke in that he can use his Q to hit you, and they actually hit for a lot of damage. that's his shurikens. He can use his clone to get right on top of you, and then use his E, which is just a slow and AoE, and it's kind of considered to be a combo to use your W and then your E to slow, and then to follow it up with the shurikens, since your clone mimics your abilities as Zed. So basically what you want to do is you want to, as Veigar, is you want to dodge shurikens, you want to try and predict when he's going to clone so that you can dodge his, or back up and dodge his E, and you want to, if you do get hit by the slow, you got to get ready for the double shurikens, and try and dodge both of those, or at least one. Now, the bad part about versing Zed, and why this is considered to be a counter, is that when Zed uses his, or Zed's shadow is very good for escaping Veigar's cage. So if I were to initiate my combo on Zed, I try and land my E and drop my W on top of him, if he's stunned, if I don't have 3 points in my stun, Zed can actually W out of the, right after he's stunned, he W's out and avoids my W damage. So I've just wasted a bunch of mana, and to do my E-W combo, and then I don't get the payoff for it. I don't get the damage. So as Veigar, what you have to do is you have to wait until the shadow's on cooldown, and then you go in with your combo. You need to make sure his W is on cooldown before you initiate your stun combo. And luckily, a lot of Zeds will realize that they can't contest Veigar's Q harass, and they back up and start farming by using the shurikens and their WE combos in order to try and get some CS. And that's when you want to really try and stick it to Zed and get a combo off on him. The other thing you need to watch for as Zed is you do need to make sure your ultimate does not get eaten by his ultimate. If your ultimate is mid-travel and he ults on you, it actually will not do any damage to him. He does become invulnerable. And typically against Zeds, you want to pick up a Zhonya's as probably your second item or third item, because if you Zhonya's, if Zed ults on top of you once it gets once you get into 20 minutes into the game, he'll have enough damage to be able to kill you with his ult. It doesn't matter if you shut him down really hard. He can probably do it at, say, 30 minutes into the game. It's just guaranteed. So you eventually do have to pick up his Zhonya's, so that before his ult goes off, you can just Zhonya's and take basically no damage. Or you can even Zhonya's early and then avoid his E and Q, and when his ult actually pops, it doesn't do very much damage. Anyways, let's get into the match. So it's started. We're buying our items. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the old crystalline flask. I think I was using the bathroom or something. I was clearly AFK at the start. So you want to pick up a crystalline flask and 3 pots against Zed. I like to do that against basically every matchup. Just having 6 pots as lane sustain is so great. And considering I know I'm going to be harassing Zed a lot, I want to make sure I can try and force him out of lane and be in lane as long as possible. Plus, I do go to the utility tree to get the biscuits so that all of those pots actually regen mana as well. Zed went with the Doran's Blade and the single pot, and this is actually his first mistake. It's at 10 seconds into the game. He has got almost no sustain. He's got 1 mana pot. Had he known the matchup, he would have known that I'm going to Q harass the hell out of him, and that he's going to need some mana pots, or some health pots. So honestly, if he knew the matchup better, he would go Crystalline Flask and 3 pots, which, yeah, he doesn't get the mana bonus from the Crystalline Flask, so it's a lot less worth it. But he could have gone Boots and 4 pots, or he could have gone a Longsword and 3 health pots, which is probably the best start because it builds into Blade of the Rune King, which is Zed's major item. He also could have gone even a Doran Shield in a pot, because he should have known that he was going to take a lot of auto attacks, and the health regen would have helped him, but he did not. Now I actually don't give a leash here because they've got Cho's got Batlane helping, and I want to get here to stop Zed from pushing any of the minions and getting any free CS. I really want to stay on top of him, and I actually do a terrible job CS in this game. Now what I want to do here is I want to auto attack him as much as possible, Q harass him. You saw I dodged the shuriken there. That's the only thing. That's what you have to watch for at level 1 is as long as you can dodge shurikens, you will do pretty well against a Zed. Now I've taken one here, but I noticed he's only got one pot, so I'm definitely gonna try and get in there and get as much Q harass as possible. I accidentally Q'd a minion there, which, you know, mistakes are made, but there's another auto attack for Zed. I did hit level 2 around the same time as Zed. If you are not pushing the wave like he is, then he can actually W in on top of you and get some good damage off on you, or even kill you if he has Ignite. And so you definitely want to make sure you hit 2 around the same time, or if you can't for whatever reason, make sure you back off so that you have your stun up and he doesn't get a level 2 cheese on you. Now, like I said, I didn't CS well this game. It was my first night, you know. Mistakes are made. But the point is I've used one pot and Zed has not used his, and he's actually pretty chunked. He's at like a 3rd health. I'll just go ahead and click on him. I'm just gonna go ahead and ward there. I saw that Zed came from the red side, which means Udyr went over to the blue side to get his next buff, and he could come in and tank him. But he did not, obviously. So I'll go back to the manual camera. Now I'm saving my stun here. And the reason for this is because I'm pushed up like crazy on the tower, but I'm okay doing this because I've got flash and my stun, and I've got a ward on the map, so I'm not too terrified of a gank. And I want to keep the pressure up on the Zed. I do not want him to get big. This is my time to be the lane bully. He W's in, or E's in, so I do have to use my stun. He flashes, I flash to get some distance, and put my Ignite up on him, and I'm able to kill him with the Q auto attack, and it looks like Dangerous Game does keep me alive, as well as the pots that I was chugging while kiting him away. And I was able to pick up first blood there. But I'm actually down in CS because I am not doing so well. I decided I'm gonna greed it out and stick around to miss some more CS. So this gives me a level advantage though, and I do have a ward there, and it's pushed to my tower, so I'm not too terrified about getting killed. Let's just miss all the CS. Yes, I'm pretty good at this game. But now I've got a level advantage on this, that I'm up an entire level. And I'm gonna go back here. I pick up 2 Doran's rings and boots. The boots will help me dodge the shurikens, and as long as I can dodge Zed harass, I will win out in lane. The 2 Doran's rings give me both extra early game damage, extra early game tankiness, and also mana sustain, which is really important so I can Q harass as much as possible and use my combos. Zed makes another big mistake here. He doesn't get any form of lifesteal. He gets boots, which don't help him that. I mean, it helps him a little bit, but it doesn't help him that much. He gets a longsword, but he doesn't get any pots, which means any damage I get on him, it's pretty much stuck. And I saw that he W'd in, so I knew his W was on cooldown, so I knew I could go ahead and use my combo and be able to land my W damage. And now he's at half health, and I mean, he can't heal anything back because he didn't get any health pots. I go ahead and throw up my ward since I saw Zed did the same. I see that his W is on cooldown again, and I just hit level 6, so I'm going to try and go in, but he's... Oh, no, I actually do get it off, and I get a second kill. And again, this is... I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily... that this is a typical of how it goes against Zed, but I do have early game dominance as opposed to Zed, over Zed, and this guy just didn't know the matchup. Nah, I'm gonna push this minion wave all the way, this giant minion wave all the way to the tower, and in doing so, I'm gonna deny Zed more EXP and more gold. So I want to make sure that the tower sucks all of this CS up. And I realized that Vladimir and Heimerdinger, Vladimir is not gonna have the nicest of times in that matchup. Heimerdinger pushes kind of hard, and since Zed isn't going to be able to do much right now, I'm going to roam top, and I've already won one lane, maybe I can win a second one. So I think to go in, Vladimir gets a great ult, able to dodge both Heimerdinger's ult, and we actually get a kill and are able to make it out. We even got Heimerdinger's flash. So a big part of mid lane is you can roam and help your other lanes win when the opportunity is there, which I saw, so I went ahead and took it. And I go ahead and pick up my first part of the DFG, which is fairly typical. Veigar. If you're not doing well against Zed, I would recommend getting the Seeker's Arm Guard. You're going to have to build the Zonias eventually. You don't have to build it as item 1. But if you get the Seeker's Arm Guard, the extra armor in lane will actually help a lot. And then he can't really do as much damage. So here I'm just killing some minions. Zed gets a little bit of harass in on me. Good for him. But I know his W is down now. So I kind of want to look for an E, but I see that he's backing off, and I'm worried that his W might be up now. Now, what I'm doing is I'm staying up and kind of in front of the minions so that I can zone Zed off of experience. Now, I saw that Zed put a ward down there, so right now I'm literally typing, "There's a ward there, guy. Maybe you should back off." And he actually goes in on the Cho'Gath. I try and stun to save him, but he was able to pick up the Cho'Gath. Or maybe I just wanted to make Zed worth gold again. Who knows? No, Cho'Gath totally got caught there, and there's nothing I could do to save him. But I was able to get a combo off on Zed. I believe Cho'Gath was in fact able to use his feast on Zed, even though he died. So I'm able to get this off for free because if you look back there, Zed actually used his W again, and I just waited for it to be gone so that I could land my full combo. And this is Zed just not knowing the matchup and not knowing how to play against Veigar. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this. They did get Udyr did solo Dragon because Udyr's kind of going that God Deer build of soloing everything in the jungle. You'll notice he's actually got more CS than me because he's been in the jungle so much. But by Udyr doing that, he's not putting any pressure on the lanes. Like, I've had free reign to just destroy this Zed at this point and even go top and gank. And top lane is no longer winning. Like, Vladimir is up 15 CS and an assist on Heimerdinger, and I am up 3 kills on this Zed. The only lane that is really winning naturally is actually even bot lane isn't winning. I thought Vayne was doing pretty badly, but he's actually out CSing Caitlyn. So yeah, Udyr wants to be this kind of stay in the jungle guy and become massive by just farming, but some games you just can't do that. He should really be ganking and should be getting pressure on his lanes. Now I see the W's on cooldown, so I'm going to be looking for my stun here. And I come up and I actually am able to get it off, and there's some more free damage. Zed tries to come out from... Actually let him ult me here, because I know that I'm going to be able to kill him again. And I didn't even have my ult up for that one, it just came up now. Now, what you'll notice right now is if you look down at my abilities here, I've actually got 3 points in Event Horizon. That means my stun lasts 2 seconds instead of the usual 1 or 0.8 seconds. I actually got that before I maxed Q. And that's actually a really big point about versing Zed, is you want to make sure that you get 3 points in stun so that you can reliably land your stun on Zed without him being able to dodge your W with his clone jump. So, I see that bottom lane's in trouble here. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and push out mid just a little bit so that I can come bot and help some more. I was able to pick up my needlessly large rod, and I'm probably at the point that I can start one-shotting this Zed. This Zed has he built a Brutalizer first, which isn't the correct item for Zed. Like, Zed should be building Blade of the Ruined King because it ups his ultimate damage. And I'm afraid that he can ult, but I just go ahead and chance it and use my ult anyways. And his ult was actually on cooldown. I didn't know that, but that's why I didn't use it right away. So Vladimir is now officially steamrolling his lane. And I think after I push this lane, I know that Zed is dead for a little while, so I'll probably try and go help out bot lane, who I think isn't having such a good time based on how much they pushed to their tower. But I don't do it at the most opportune time. I think I just get them to back off. Yeah, they totally saw me, they're totally warded. So I just kind of go ahead and back off anyways. I'm planning on backing to pick up my DFG anyways, but I see that Zed's pushing the turret hard, and I figure I'll get some free kills along the way. Now, if you look at how much damage one Q did to that Zed, that was just a Q. It did so much damage because of my large rod. And after I was able to push one lane back, or after I was able to push that one wave, I'm just gonna go ahead and back and buy, get my DFG, and Cho'Gath's covering my mid. I really do want to help bot lane start winning since top is now totally fine, and obviously I don't need any help mid lane with my 6-0 kill streak going. I think Udyr's ganked maybe twice. Like, he really isn't doing all that much. Now, normally I would be very cautious about following his Zed in the jungle, but because he could do what he just did and ult me, and I would die. But he goes ahead and but I know that I can one-shot him because I'm so far ahead of me. I wasn't able to one-shot him there because I didn't land my stun right on top of him, and he was able to jump out. But he just used his W there again, so I know I have a free stun. I don't even use my ult because I know my Q, W, and DFG with that. And now what I'll probably do is I'll either get some damage on the mid tower, or I'll try and roam bot just to help out my bot lane. I do want to take the mid tower though, so that it's much easier to continue roaming. And Udyr actually is helping his bot lane now. He's realized that he can't just farm in the jungle constantly. But he knows that my lane is far too gone, and what he doesn't realize is that the Heimerdinger is actually getting destroyed. So I'm able to pick up that tower. Now I've got a lot more ability to roam, and I'm really going to try and get bot on the winning path because they're starting to have some difficulties, I see, with Udyr actually getting some ganks in. But Vayne is in fact on CS right now. This Cho'Gath missed a rupture, so I don't think we're going to get anything out of it. And we're going to have to back off here. Now I spot Zed out, so I think I'm going to try and kill him. Missed my stun because mistakes were made. I really want to try and stop this, but I see Cho'Gath has absolutely no HP. There's not much I can really do. Cho'Gath runs in. This wasn't the best Cho'Gath, but he was able to survive luckily. And he got a free Zed ult. Now I see there's a little bit of time in between the madness for me to push a lane, and then I come right back in order to try and stop this dragon, maybe one-shot somebody, but I need to be very careful because this is essentially a 3v4. I try and steal it, but it's just there. The purple team's actually up in gold at this point because of the fact that Udyr is basically just straight up farming. Like, he's got almost as much CS as I do. And he's beating Zed by a lot. He's basically tied with Zed carry. And, you know, Veigar he's one of the fastest clear times in the jungle, for sure. And farming with him does tend to work. I don't really want to go after the Zed because he's not really worth any gold. I do see he has Merc treads, and I do cap out my stun at 5 in order to make sure he's locked down long enough. Cho'Gath provides a really awful gank here, and I'm just gonna do my best to try and come in and follow up, but they, I'm just way too far out. And Cho'Gath coming through lane, don't really know what he was thinking with that one. Probably that light never works. But I don't lose anything by doing this, you know. It's easy for me to walk back in the lane. I only lose 1 CS. Nope, I actually got that CS, so, you know, Zed didn't get any damage on my tower. I'm sitting on probably quite a bit of gold here, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my boots, and I see that Udyr has got part of his banned Spirit Visage done. Now I know that he has his full Spirit Visage, so I'm definitely going to be looking to build that Void Staff. Because Udyr is kind of a monster. Now, bot lane's really not having much fun. But I see that I am 7 and I've got 7 of our team's 8 kills, and I basically just let my team know. So I actually mess up there. I lose my ult to Zed's ult, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to. Yeah, I am able to chase him down because I have 2 boots and Zed does. Zed does actually. But I'm just able to chase him down. Legendary. So, when you're versing Zed, remember to just always wait for his ult before you use yours. I did do something there that I would actually like to kind of highlight, and that's I made sure I tried to stand on my stun in order to stun him when he ulted on top of me. I had already stunned him, so it didn't do anything. But you should always try and do that. Is if Zed ults on top of you, drop a stun on yourself and just try and cancel all of his damage out. Luckily, he has built practically nothing, and wasn't able to do much damage to me. He is starting to go Blade of the Ruined King, but he's an 07 Zed. I am an 8-0 Veigar. I can't do much against that Udyr. Just because he's got a Spirit Visage. Until I get a Void Staff, I can't really stick any damage on him. But the rest of his teammates are prime targets. So they start pressuring mid lane pretty heavily here. And I don't really want to get this blue, because if I do, I'll lose mid tower for it, and that's not really worth. So I just let Cho'Gath have that. Nami uses a questionable ult, but that's okay. I'm just trying to dodge the harass here and look for an ult. I know Zed is pretty much useless at this point. Like, he's not going to do much in a team fight. So my prime targets here are Heimerdinger and Caitlyn. If I can get one of those 2 in my ult, then I will probably win the team fight. I do see Caitlyn and Alistar's bot, so we're going to push hard. My teammate kind of leave me here, but I am able to kill off the Dinger. You see I sit in my stun in order to stun Zed, but it doesn't last long enough because he's got tenacity boots. And I'm finally shut down at 9-1, but I was able to kill Heimerdinger at least. This fight kind of goes south for our team now. Vladimir is able to get some good damage in, and Lane's going to do her best to clean up as much as possible. Unfortunately, she just can't get in. So we're able to back off, and Donger actually gets a pretty good teleport in here to finish off the turret. But now I'm back up. And at this point I'm telling my duo key partner who's Nami, listen man, just keep me alive. I've got 9 of our 10 kills. Just keep me alive. I'll carry us. 10 out of our 11 kills. Just keep me alive. No sharing. So now that we do have a man advantage, even if it is just the support, we can try and push out bottom lane to get that tower. Udyr's guarding it pretty heavily, and there's not too much we can do with such a short death time, the fact that we only had a support. So we're just going to pick up our buffs, and I'd like us to actually start split pushing. That Vladimir is gigantic. There is nothing anybody can do to contest him. So if we push as 4 mid, we should actually be able to probably get either top tower or mid tower. So I'm telling my teammates probably to group up right now. And actually Dragon is up, so Vladimir I think does start coming down. I'm able to catch off Heimerdinger here, and it looks like I am probably going to go down. Yeah, with the Zed ult, not much that can be done. But I was able to get basically everyone's ult, and Vayne is just able to go hog wild. I was able to kill Heimerdinger, so that was good. And I stuck some damage on whatchamacallit as well. Zed. Vayne with a great condemn to try and kite as long as possible. Vlad is able to pick up the kill on Kate and Alistar, and not much Vayne can do in order to run away from Udyr, but we do go 4 for 4 overall. Now, telling everyone we need to get to Dragon, we need to get to Dragon. They're obviously going to try and go for that next. I do have my Void Staff now, so I can really start doing some damage to that Udyr. And I pick up another needlessly large rod, which I believe I'm going for is Zhonya's there, in order to stop that Zed ult. I've been disrespecting the Zed all game, haven't given him any credit, and he's actually got some ults in on me that have killed me, and I kind of realized, oh shit, he's starting to hurt. Get some good damage in. I know Zed doesn't have ult, so I'm just trying to get a little bit of damage back, and I am able to kill him. Good stop by the Heimerdinger. We are going to have to back off on this one because we did lose our jungler. I think I'm going to try and W here, and I just do it way too late. So our jungler is in fact up. I definitely want us to group up and start taking some turrets. I go ahead and ping out the mid turret. Let's see if you can follow me so I don't have to follow myself around. I'm a little bit afraid for our bot lane because we haven't seen people on the map in a while. But we actually we do see them. Let's see if I can kind of get a cheese on Caitlyn, who might push, but then decided to call it off and just go ahead back. And I think to myself, death cap, I love more damage, but then I realize that I do need a Zhonya's and I have to give Zed some credit here. And I go ahead and refund it and pick up part of the Zhonya's. Unfortunately, nobody rotated to cover that mid turret, so they are able to pick that up pretty much for free, and that's pretty badly played on our team's fault, to be honest. And they're actually up a pretty considerable amount of gold, and that's just all from getting objectives. They're up 2 towers here, they're up 3 dragons, and honestly, all of the gold is on me, so at this point, I know that I'm going to be the focus, obviously. Probably of Zed ult and Caitlyn ult. And Udyr's probably going to run at me headstrong. So, and I really need to be able to kill some people. I try and get the Caitlyn there, but not able to. But when you're this far ahead, when you're this fed, and you have that much of your team's gold, you are completely in the driver's seat. If I die early without being able to get very much damage off, it is completely on me. I am able to catch Caitlyn there. Get hit by Zed. Nami with a good exhaust didn't heal to keep me alive through it. And the team fight erupts. I'm pinging everyone to go back because Heimerdinger here just dropped that massive turret, which is destroying people. But Vayne says, I don't give a fuck, goes in after the Alistar. and we aren't able to get anything else, but Nami very, very nearly dies. So, yeah, that Heimerdinger turret just so much damage. I think if he drops it that early, like he dropped it when we were all on the south, on our side of the map. If we had just walked away, we would have been a lot safer. We could have really got messed up if they, had we fought on top of that. Nami almost, like if he stayed in there a second longer, he would have got it. And I'm thinking that we need to get some objectives. You know, we just killed 2 people. Let's at least get bot tower. Get some of that global gold back. So yeah, we are still down in gold by actually a pretty considerable margin. We're down by 5k. I'm gonna just go ahead and back and pick up my Zonias. That Udyr is also extremely large, and he is building against me. Like, he's got Spirit Visage and Banshees. So it's gonna be somewhat hard for me to kill him alone, but in team fights I can actually burst him for a considerable amount of his health. He's got a lot of HP though. So I need to probably focus on the people that are actually worth focusing, which is Caitlyn and everybody else. Vayne going hard in the paint against that Caitlyn. Nami tried to get the wave and I tried to get the stun, but it's actually Vayne ends up going just full on ham and kill him off. Unfortunately, our Cho'Gath gets caught as well. There's not too much we can do about that. So I'm a little bit afraid to go in against this into that team. You know, we went 1 for 1. We could lose more. I mean, we might gain more, but at the same time we might lose more. I'm able to catch the Heimerdinger there and die. Zed does pick up Vayne though, and I realized, listen, my cooldowns are on cooldown. Probably not worth going in. I'm just gonna go ahead and back up. And actually decide that, you know, hey, I want some vision of where everybody's going. So I come in, ward there, and actually catch on that Zed. Now I flash in and kill him. And normally I wouldn't do something so flashy when I know they're around. But by doing this, I make the realization that everybody's bot lane, and we have a free Baron right now because we have a 4v5 advantage. So I'm pinging everyone, hey, let's go Baron. We can now make something out of this this flash. And in general, I think it's okay to flash for kills, but I think you should definitely have some kind of plan of what you're gonna do afterwards. Like, I flashed into that knowing that now we have Baron basically for free, based on the fact that there was still 2 people in bot lane that hadn't backed yet. And it just happened to look out that Caitlyn also showed up bot lane, so we got that free Baron. Sorry, spoilers. We get Baron. We could go in and chase, but I'm saying, hey, we got our objective. Let's play it safe. We just took a lot of damage from Baron. We haven't fought in a long time. Let's not risk fighting right now. We have 4 minutes to use this Baron buff. They are gonna get Dragon though, and there's probably not much we can do about it. I start building up my death cap so I can deal even more damage, because I feel safe enough with my Zonias. And they actually are able to pick up the Dragon, which I'll trade Baron or Dragon for Baron any day. And use this little trick where Veigar's W shows vision in order to see that Dragon is in fact not there. So I ping out the mid tower to say, hey, we have Baron. We need to group up. Let's do this. Now I see that my entire teammates are backing, so I can't do it by myself, and you have to patiently wait and make sure you don't engage early. A lot of times with the lower divisions, I'll see people, you know, hey, we've got Baron, let's go, even though we don't have our teammates here, and we actually wait for our teammates, which is good, which is really good. Just make sure you count. Rule of thumb: make sure you count to 5 before you go in too hard. Now I want to make sure that I got Udyr's Banshee's Veil there. We are able to pick up the tower. Because I got Udyr's Banshee's Veil, I go ahead and hit him pretty hard. Zed ults me, but I'm able to Zhonya's out of all of it. And I saved my ult for Zed there. And we're actually able to win that fight pretty handily because Nami, my duo queue partner, is just healing the hell out of me. Udyr comes in headstrong. By the way, general rule of thumb, no matter who you are, if you run into 4 people, you're probably going to die. Just don't do that. Like, now we get an inhibitor for sure. We could probably get a Nexus turret here, maybe. But I think we decided to play it safe. Like, if we got a Nexus turret here, it would have been completely Udyr's fault because he didn't wait for his team. And I actually see myself make a lot of mistakes whenever I'm watching games like this. We could have rotated bot and got the turret, but I didn't ping it out or anything. It took me a while. We definitely could have got it though. And it's only until after Vayne's back that I ping it out. And at this point it's way too late. But I'm gonna go ahead and go back and I'm gonna pick up my death cap. And I am huge at this point. I've got 950 ability power. We are ready to blow some people up for sure. And Shogath pings to let me have the blue buff. So Zed was pushing that lane by himself, and in general, make sure if you're doing something like that, that your team has presence on the map. Like, it would have been fine for Zed to split push and get that tower right there if the rest of us had been pushing bot lane. But the fact of the matter is, I ping Zed to back off and say, hey man, we don't have any pressure on the map right now, all of them are going to collapse on you. If we actually had pressure bot lane, they could, Zed could push top and they'd have to send somebody to deal with him, and because Zed is such a strong duelist and he's so very fed, he would be able to kill anybody. But we didn't have any pressure on the map with the rest of the 4 of us, so they would have just sent a bunch of people to stop him. If all 4 of us were bot, they'd have to send 4 bot and 1 top, and we'd probably end up winning both fights. Or they'd send 5 bot, and then Zed would get a tower for free, and we would back up. So Nami takes all of the ultimates. I'm able to get a good stun and kill off the Heimerdinger before he can do anything. I'm too afraid to go in after the Caitlyn. We are able to kill off Alistar and Udyr as well. I want to flash in and stun, but Caitlyn uses her flash, so we'll pick up the free low inhibitor as a constellation rise. I'm able to get some good damage in on Zed. Yeah, don't forget that you can auto attack from the front of the tower as well as the back if you plan on going forward. So we kill that, and we are able to pick up the inhibitor. I stun Zed, and we're actually able to kill him off as he goes ham, and I Zhonya's to survive Caitlyn. And Nami, my good duo queue partner, is healing the fucking hell out of me. And I use my stun to make sure that the people who are respawning don't actually catch up with us. Now at this point, it's pretty much completely free. We can either push top and get the next Baron. They've got 2 towers down, so they can't really do anything to stop Baron. But right now, while we're waiting a minute for Baron to spawn, it is definitely a good idea for us to push top, maybe get that tower, and then take Baron when it comes up. But first, we don't have any vision around Baron, so we need to group up and just ward up all around Baron. I'm gonna reverse top because I kind of want to get that top tower while we're waiting for Baron anyways. And to be honest, we could throw at Baron. Like, legitimately, Baron does a lot of damage. If they catch us and they steal it away with their smite, we could lose Baron, and then lose the team fight right after. and why should we when we're so far ahead? I actually missed my stun here, but Nami lands their bubble and I'm able to blow up Zed. We get a little... They were a little bit out of position, but luckily we were able to follow up. And this, I'm able to stun Alistar, so even though he headbutts me, he lands stunned on the other side, and I'm able to pick him off. Now that they're down 2 people, it's basically GG. Like, there's no defending this. We have Nexus turret already, or inhibitor already down, so we're able to get the next inhibitor. And we have so many minions from 2 super creep mobs rushing in. We're just gonna go ahead and pick this up. I see the whatchamacallit hits, and Caitlyn actually walks back into my W, and I kill her with just my WQ combo. But they probably should have just backed until Zed was able to come up along with Udyr. Udyr went and solo Dragon. I think he at this point has just given up. But we are able to end the game off of catching those 2 people out. So yeah, 21-7. That is a 14.0 KDA. Not a bad Veigar game. This was actually against all Platinum 3s, because I was duo queuing with a Platinum 1 friend. Or I think he was Platinum 2, my mistake. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I do have a Twitch where I stream, and you can follow me on that, or follow me on Twitter to get updates about when I stream. And if you have any questions about Veigar, please feel free to leave messages here at Twitch. I also have a Veigar guide that I will link in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, one last thing. I've never done anything. I've never done like a rewatching my own match commentary. So if you like this a lot more than my usual like in-game style videos, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more of them. I kind of like this because it lets me analyze my own mistakes after the fact and analyze what I could have done differently, and also it allows me to kind of talk about what I was doing in my thought process in more depth because I'm not actually playing. The downside is I tend to be a little bit more entertaining, I think, when I'm playing. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think better. Maybe I'll start doing this more often. Thanks so much, and all of the social media following stuff once again. Bye.